it's all well and good being able to send messages on the same network to users that have the same domain. But what happens if we want to send emails to people on other networks that are attached to other domain names? So what we need to be able to do is we need to have a little bit more complexity so that we're able to have the servers understanding where they need to send those messages on to. And for that, we need to have a domain name server. That has a really important role. So you can see in this example here, we have two networks set up. So we have our machines for Bob and Alice here set up. We have an email server for mail.com, which we've already set up and established. And on the other network, we have a computer here set up for Charlie. And Charlie, his email is at Filius.com as opposed to Bob and Alice, whose email is at mail.com. So we want to be able to send messages between Charlie and Bob and Alice, and everyone's able to send messages to everyone else. So for that to happen, then we need to ensure that, well, first of all, we need to have a mail server for both mail.com and Filius.com. That needs to be set up. So we've set that up in the usual way there. The key part of this is ensuring that our domain name server here is set up in the right way. So let's have a look at the domain name server and how that's been configured within the software itself. So we have a domain name server here. What we've done is we've got our set up our domain name for www.mail.com and the corresponding IP address. That's the IP address of this email server here, and then we've got the same thing for Filius here. So this is our domain name that corresponds to this email server here. So that matches that. And then we also have to look at the mail exchange here. So this is the mail domain. So this is what comes after someone's name and then the ampersand and then the corresponding mail server domain. So what we're able to do is we're able to map from the mail domain to the mail server domain and then to the IP address. So then we're able to send messages between our servers. So that's all set up in the right way. So let's have a look at how this works in practice. So the real test is not to send between Alice and Bob because they're on the same network with the same mail domain. We want to be able to send between, let's say, Alice and Charlie or Bob and Charlie. So let's have a look at that. So let's start with on Charlie's machine here. We'll get a message here from Charlie and send this over to, let's say, Alice. Let's try Alice at mail.com, and then we can just send a test and let's see if that works. This is going from Charlie to Alice. So there we have it. That seems to have sent okay. So this is Alice's machine here. Let's get this open for us to have a look at that. And that's this one here. And if we now download that, you can see now that this email from Charlie has arrived, which is great. So then we can respond back and then just write test in there, see if that's gonna work for us. And then Charlie then with his window here as well. So we've got Charlie here then should be able to download that message from, just checking the inbox. Charlie then should have had that message from Alice, which is this one here. So that's all working fine. Now, just a few things to know when we're setting this up. It's really easy to forget to do things and to make mistakes in this when we're setting up. So we'll just go through this now as to how we set up. Well, first of all, the configuration. That's the first part we need to ensure that we get right. So when we click on here, when we go to configure, what we need to do is we need to put in obviously the IP address, netmask. There's nothing to change there, but the gateway, of course, is the router here, and we need to put in that's really easy to forget, but we need to put in a domain name server for each of our machines here. So that needs to go in. You can see that's happened for all our machines there. So that's all good. And we also need to do that for the servers as well, ensuring we put in the domain name for that as well. So that's an easy thing to forget. So that's the configuration, and then ensuring that we have everything else set up correctly. We need to go on here, so then we need to make sure our example, our email programs are working as well, so we need to make sure that those are set up in the right way too. So that's the domain name server. I'd rather have where is it? This one here. So those are our email programs. Those are all set up here. So we have that one set up. So this is Charlie's one here. We go to account here, and you can set it up there. So that's using the domain name there for that. You can put the IP addresses in there, but we're using the domain name there, so ensuring that those are set up correctly as well. So that's the main things really to consider and ensure that all this is working in the right way.